So let's talk about the three goals of the ideal consultation or appointment. And after that, we'll talk about some of the components, the acts, as I put them, of an ideal appointment. Okay? So the three goals. First of all, one needs to consider that one wants to make your client that is visiting with you feel better than they did from the beginning of the appointment. So you really, really want them to come out of the appointment feeling better in one way or the other, whether they purchased what it is that you're offering or not, whether there's a follow-up required, whether they had objections, it doesn't really matter. So one way or the other, they need to feel better about the outcome. The second thing, obviously, is to convert the appointment. So the number one goal, really, if the first thing is to actually make them happy, the second thing is to really get them to convert. And once you've done that, then you can really determine whether or not you've been successful. The third thing is to identify what was the objection. So if there was something that was holding them back from deciding that this was something that was for them, whatever you presented in your appointment, you've got to know what it is. Because I think many people, they might go for the yes, and that's great, and then be happy to ask, so, you know, what were the reasons for purchasing, and that's nice, it's good news. But when somebody says no, it's actually a lot more difficult for salespeople to really venture into that and ask why. What's the reason for not purchasing? Because often some of those objections can in fact be overcome. So those are the three things, really. It's make them feel happy, obviously convert them into a sale, and then know the objection when it's all done, if they've said no. Let's get into the first part now, because there are three acts, and it's just like any play or any opera or any good book. It all separates into separate little components, and I find that salespeople, understand how to where they are in an appointment better if they have a structure like this. So let's consider the three acts of the ideal sales presentation. The first act is the greeting, and clearly this is where one first meets the person that they're going to have this consultation with, and that involves all the elements that are involved in making a good first impression. And then once that's done, obviously there needs to be a little bit of a component for warm-up. And so if you have an act called the greeting, what you really have is the greeting in the first scene, and the second scene is the warm-up. And the warm-up is all about essentially just sitting down, having a nice conversation, being relaxed, and making the prospect feel at ease. What we're aiming to do is generate rapport, reduce tension, and just make the prospect feel like, okay, I can talk to you, I can relate with you, and we can talk about something other than business for a little while. And I think that in most cultures, that can actually be a very, very useful thing to do, to spend a little bit of time just getting to know each other before getting right down to business. And that would be the first act of the consultation.